What if I told you there's an ancient practice, mentioned by Jesus himself, that has the power to break the grip of lust in just 3 days? I'm not talking about self-help tricks or motivational quotes. I'm talking about something deeply spiritual, something Jesus revealed in Matthew 17:21, when he said, "This kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting." See, most people try to fight lust with willpower, filters, or guilt. But when those methods fail, what then? There's a reason Jesus pointed us to prayer and fasting, not just one, but both together. In this video, I'll walk you through a 3-day biblical fast, a process that has helped thousands find freedom where everything else failed. If you've tried everything, this might be the breakthrough you've been praying for. Let's be honest, most of us have tried something to fight lust. Maybe you installed accountability software. Maybe you avoided certain websites or environments. Or maybe you just tried harder, white-knuckling your way through temptation, praying over and over for God to take it away. And yet, it keeps coming back. Why? Because these methods, as well-intentioned as they are, only treat the surface. They're like putting a bandage on a spiritual infection. You can block the symptom, but the root remains untouched. Some people think more guilt will fix it. If I just feel worse, maybe I'll finally stop. But nowhere in Scripture does Jesus say that shame leads to freedom. In fact, it often leads to deeper cycles of defeat. Here's the truth most churches and believers overlook. Lust isn't just a behavior problem. It's a spiritual stronghold. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4, Paul says our weapons are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds. The Greek word used here, okoroma, refers to a military fortress. Think about that. If you're trying to knock down a fortress with arrows of willpower, you'll lose every time. You don't need stronger guilt. You need stronger spiritual weapons. And that's exactly what Jesus pointed to: prayer and fasting. Let's talk about something that's been hiding in plain sight throughout the entire Bible: fasting. We often think of fasting as a way to show God we're serious, but Scripture paints a much bigger picture. Fasting isn't just a sign of devotion, it's a spiritual weapon. Think about it. Moses fasted 40 days before receiving the 10 Commandments. Esther fasted for 3 days before risking her life to save her people. Daniel fasted before receiving visions that shook empires. And Jesus himself? He fasted for 40 days before beginning his public ministry. Do you see the pattern? Fasting always came before breakthrough. It's not a coincidence. It's a design. Isaiah 58:6 gives us a glimpse into that purpose. Is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the straps of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke. That's not just poetry, it's a picture of deliverance. Chains breaking, yokes lifting, bondage ending. Fasting isn't about impressing God. It's about aligning with Him, spirit, soul, and body, so that what once held us captive can no longer stand. Here's a truth many believers miss. Not all fasts are created equal. Yes, fasting is powerful, but the type of fast and the intention behind it make all the difference. You can't just skip meals and expect chains to break. Spiritual bondage, especially when it comes to lust, operates on multiple levels. And to break free, we need to address each one. Over the years, I've seen people fast with sincere hearts but walk away unchanged. Not because they didn't try hard enough, but because they didn't target the right areas. That's why this 3-day biblical fast is so different. It was designed to confront 3 specific dimensions of lust. The physical appetite, where hunger and desire intertwine. The soul ties and emotional attachments that linger long after the act. And the spiritual blindness that keeps us stuck in cycles we don't even fully see. Each day of this fast focuses on one of these layers: body, soul, and spirit, creating a strategy that works where others don't. Here's something most people don't realize. Lust isn't just physical. It's multi-dimensional. And unless we confront it on all levels, body, soul, and spirit, we're only fighting part of the battle. Let's break this down. Dimension 1. Physical appetite. Romans 8:13 says, "If you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the misdeeds of the body, you will live." Your brain doesn't separate hunger from lust. They run on similar neurological pathways. That's why fasting matters. When you discipline your body through fasting, you're not just skipping meals, you're training your brain to say no to impulse. If you can say no to bread, you can say no to bondage. Dimension 2. Soul ties and attachments. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 16 warns us that sexual sin creates spiritual fusion, two becoming one flesh. That's why lust isn't just a moment of weakness, it's a lingering connection. But fasting creates distance. It breaks emotional dependencies and gives room for God to bring healing. It's not about punishment, it's about purification. Dimension 3. Spiritual perception. Ephesians 1:18 says, "I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened." Fasting sharpens your spiritual vision. You begin to see the lies of temptation for what they really are, and once you see clearly, you can resist. James 4, verse 7 says, "Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." But before you can resist, you have to recognize. This 3-day fast is powerful because it doesn't treat lust like a surface problem. It goes deep, body, soul, and spirit. And that's where true freedom begins. Each day of this 3-day fast is designed to target a specific dimension of lust, body, soul, and spirit. It's not random, it's intentional. And when these layers are addressed together, breakthrough becomes not just possible, but powerful. If today's message spoke to you, and you want to learn more about how to walk out this fast step by step, let me know in the comments below. Just type, "Part 2, please." And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss it when it drops. We're just getting started. Because the chains that have held you for years, they're not stronger than the freedom Christ already paid for.